What's up, folks? I wanted to make another video to follow up my video from the other day about NFTs, the importance of NFTs, not art NFTs, non-monkey NFTs, but I'm talking about non-fungible tokens that represent something in an economic sense that is not art, that is some sort of economic contract. And I didn't really talk enough about why I think that's important or like concretize it for people. Um, but there's a project that is launching on Phantom that if you're already involved in the Phantom ecosystem, you probably already know all about it. It's called VE33, aka I think it's called Solidly. It's a project by Andre Cronje. I don't know how to say his name, but it is a farming platform / protocol that has some really interesting stuff in it. And this week there was a big war to try to for the top 20 projects on Phantom by total value locked to get a share of this new protocol, which was actually distributed in the form of NFTs, different type of NFT. But anyway, so what am I talking about here? If you check out the Medium, Andre's Medium, you'll be able to see that he just mentions this very quickly, but I think it's so important that when you lock your 3 tokens, which is I guess what the token for solidity will be called. Normally you would just receive like in Curve or in whatever, Liquid Driver, you would receive this like vote escrowed version. I don't know why my camera is like constantly changing exposures. I'll have to figure that out. Stop it. Anyway, you would receive this vote escrowed token like a VE Curve, VE Convex, whatever. And the idea here is that you take some native token to some protocol, you lock it for a day to 4 years, and you receive some amount of voting power in return for a combination of a multiplier between the amount of time you're locking the token and the amount of tokens that you're locking. When you do that, a lot of the way these protocols have been designed, I think maybe Curve was the first one, and they all kind of copy that, is that when you receive your vote escrow token for a given account, if you want to change that lock, you can't change it. Obviously, it's locked. But if you want to extend the lock, or if you want to add more tokens to your lock, you can't do that. And because of the way the contract is designed, it just extends the lock for all your tokens, right? So if I lock 10 tokens for 4 years, and then a year later I want to lock another 10 tokens, now all 20 of my tokens will have to be locked for another 4 years, right? There's no way to attach a specific amount of tokens locked to a specific amount of time within these contracts. However, this new VE33 project will issue you an NFT each time you lock your tokens. So if you lock 10 tokens for 4 years, you'll receive an NFT saying these 10 tokens have been locked for 4 years at this date, and here's the unlock time. And then that NFT represents your voting power. Now, what is the voting power used for? If you're not aware, platforms like Curve and farming platforms like Convex and stuff like that, they use this voting power to determine the emissions rewards on the underlying yield farms. What does that mean? Basically, it means that if I have voting power and I have, say, DAI staked on Curve, and I have a lot of voting power for Curve, I can say, well, I want Curve, I can vote to say I want Curve to distribute its Curve emissions to the DAI farm, right? Because I have DAI in it, and that's where I want the emissions to go, because I want free Curve tokens. Basically, you're voting to give yourself free tokens on a platform. What else is new? You're voting to give yourself free money. The best way to vote. So now you'll receive an NFT, and that NFT will allow you to do the vote instead of just having some what they call a VE token, which is like a version of the token that's been locked. That gives you the voting power. And the way the contracts are set up, your VE token balance decreases over time. I'm not exactly sure what the math is on that, or why that's super important, but I guess it makes sense, right? Because after say 3 years and 364 days of a 4-year lock, should you have as much voting power as you did with just 1 day left on your lock? I guess not. So anyway, these VE33 NFTs, because they're NFTs, you'll be able to say lock 10 tokens for 4 years, and then a year later lock another 10 tokens for 4 years. Now you have 2 NFTs, right? So it solves that problem of having to constantly like relock your tokens if you want to add more. Beyond that, it's an NFT. What does that mean? I can put it on a market and I can buy and sell it. That I think is so important, because right now, even though you have these VE tokens, you can't really transfer them to other people. There's no market for them. Because like I said, over time, they just like decrease in value, or they just decrease in number. Actually, they actually like get burnt over time. So it's not like a typical ERC20 token. It's a different type of token. It's not a fungible token. It's non-fungible, but it uses kind of the ERC20 standard in terms of making it work with your wallet and things like that. But you can't transfer it. So with these NFTs, you can transfer it. And so this is so cool, because now we're going to see NFT marketplaces that don't have art. They have financial positions. They have governance rights, voting rights. Literally, you will find NFT markets that contain voting rights in them that you can buy and sell. Now, obviously, these voting rights are not for a political office or anything like that. They're for protocol governance votes, which the most important of are controlling emissions, so determining where the platform's value goes. Yeah, I think this is a really huge thing. Check out, if you're not in the Phantom ecosystem, maybe you haven't heard of this, so check out what Andre's doing with the VE33 token. I think the protocol is called Solidly. And obviously this isn't financial advice or anything, but I think from a technical perspective, it's quite interesting. It solves a lot of cool problems. So anyway, I just wanted to follow up the last video where I just rambled about non-art NFTs. I didn't really explain it. Here's a really good example of a non-art NFT project that's coming out that is adding a lot of value to yield farmers and stakers and anyone interested in DeFi. So go check that out. If you're still watching at the end of this video, one of the 1% of people left. Crypto market has been pretty rough lately, but I have been mostly playing around with stables. If you want to play around with stables without spending a ton of gas on ETH, come check out Phantom, or you could probably check out AVAX and those other ones. There's a lot of cool stuff happening on these platforms because it's just a lot friendlier for people who aren't throwing around hundreds of thousands of dollars per trade. So go check that out. And I think that's it for this video. If you watch this video, let me know what else I should talk about. I'm thinking about making a TikTok. No one will watch to this point in the video, but if you do, tell me how bad an idea it is for me to create a TikTok. All right, that's it. Bye.